Well, hello. Welcome back. This is Jillian with the Jewel Design, and we are part 2 of our Roses in Paris series, this black and white waterfall journal. And hopefully you guys got to watch Mondays as we got started on this, how we got to this point of this lovely, ordeal. I won't go too much into it, so if you're curious what's up, please go back and rewatch Monday's video, because I don't want to waste too much time. But I went ahead and took a very thin press board poster board. You can get at Dollar Tree, Michael's, wherever. It's black on both sides. That is black over black, so there's white edges. Cut this 22 by 28 inch piece of poster board down to 6 pieces of 8.5 by 11 to make a I guess it'll be 24 panels, 24 pages, panels, whatever you want to call it. 24 panels, 24 pages, waterfall journal. And we are doing it starting out at a 3-inch panel, which means the back panel is 8 inches, and working our way in at 1/2 inch increments. So each page I scored in another 1/2 inch to make each, or out a 1/2 inch, to make, each one of these panels to get wider until we got to the middle, which is a perfect 5.5 inch fold. So I goofed, as you'll see if you watch my video, but we're going to make that work with lace. And then you work your way back, all the way back. To where you cover front and back. You get 24 panel pages, and we're going to put a journal in the middle and flip outs and interactive pieces. It's going to be a wonderful waterfall. So today I figured we would actually glue down the inside flap, inside panel and back panel. We would work on decorating, elements that we sort of started last video, and then try to start picking our next panel pieces, like the front. We'll start working on 2 or 3, we'll pick them, and then the next video we'll maybe work on it, or I'll try another aspect of it. But we do have to keep in mind, as we start paneling these, how we're going to use our interactive flip outs, fold ups, tucks, pockets, as we go. So each inside left will be a writing page, which I have. This will be the decorative that'll have whatever flip, flop, pocket, and decor piece that fits. Hence why the middle section will have a very simple naked journal in the middle to give us even more pages. So 24 panels, and it should be a 24-page journal in the middle of that. So it's about a typical 48. But if we get enough flip outs and fold ups, there's going to be more journal cards, more tags, more things to write on. So we're gonna enlarge your writing space even more. So it's a gorgeous Paris inspired, Rose in Paris inspired black and white kit that's in my digital shop over at Jewel Design, jeweldesign.etsy.com or .shop.com, whatever, it's down below. Sorry, this direct link is down there. I have another black and white kit. It's very much a Tim Holtz feel. It's graphic fairy black and whites, engraved floral. So you have 2 different types of black and white if you'd like that. But this can be done with any kit. I'm using digitals and the poster board. You can just use double-sided cards, not cardstock. Well, that too, I guess. You use double-sided cardstock if you want it really thick, and you decorate it. You can use double-sided scrapbook paper. There are plenty of ways. And as I mentioned in last week's video, I got the inspiration from both Gail and Treasure Books. That's who it is. I can't think of her first name, but I did mention them where you could click on their channels in the last video, and I will put it down below again. But Treasure Books was a huge inspiration trying to figure out how to accomplish this. And Gail's little Tim Holtz 6x6 is really cute for a simple version also. So I like to do things complicated, but I'll take you along on the journey, and any little thing inspires you for a piece of ephemera, for a simplified little notebook, travels notebook, whatever. I hope it inspires, and you will continue to walk along with me. So come along with me, journal with me, craft with me, all of that. Okay, so let's start. I don't know which one to start with. Do I do the front cover or the middle? I sort of almost want to work in the middle and work our way out to a point. But we do have a back decor that I want to work on. We're going to take one of my fancier scalloped pockets, and we're going to put on the back with lace and all kinds of goodies. So that is one thing I definitely want to do, and get these glued down so they're prepped and ready for both writing and whatnot. But the inside, I think. So as you see, here's my template. As we're walking along, I do have 6 pieces of paper, had them folded, had them marked. Anything I wanted to think about, what I wanted to do with it. This was sort of my notes, everything. So if I'm not sure, I go back, I double check, make sure, okay, black borders, this and that, what I want to do with it. This is my go-to, right? And the goal might be, hopefully, depending how this pans out, whether or not I'll have a full journal cover. Will makes it about 8 3/4 tall by 8 1/4 deep. And that may give us a spine to really hold in all of these pages once they're nice and full, and give you sort of that photo album feel with the waterfall. So today we are going to glue down these things. I went ahead and I did ink everything. Don't worry about the back, but I did go ahead and ink everything with black ink, just standard everyday black ink, stamp ink. Took a new dauber, you know, all that, a blotter, a dauber, blotter. I have one of Shelly and I can't think of Shelly's husband's name right now. I am so sorry, but he makes these lovely wood daubers. So, it's on the tip of my tongue. I can't think of it. But anyway, I've bought a number of theirs, so now I have like 3 or 4 that I can work with at any time. But I did go ahead and do that. Now, what I'm going to want to do at some point is probably also do the poster board. The poster board is a thin layer of black paper, I'm afraid, on white. Yeah, being cheap, it is what it is. So when you cut it, we get to see the white. It's like certain fabrics where they're not all the way through, and you don't have that really lovely all the way see-through. Most of these aren't going to get a whole lot of, they may not get a lot of covering on the ends, so I don't know if, you know, how much white I really want to see. Some of them weren't bad. Like, I don't know, it's like the edges or something. Not all of it comes up white, which is sort of weird. Just certain ends are white. I don't know why. So we are going to want to work along, try to reduce some of that white, because I want that nice, really clean follow through. I know it's going to get hidden a little bit, but doesn't mean I want. I'm going to have to keep an eye on that. I'm going to be black when I'm done with this. All right, so this is going to be our fun part. If you watched me, you know how much I struggle with this, and that is the wrapping things around and not getting things to bunch. I am starting off with, anyway, with the, what do you want to call it? The, I don't know how to pronounce this. What is here? With our magic blue. Gosh, there's too many pieces of paper here. Hold on, there we go. I want the book so that I don't have to worry about it. The magic blue UHU stick. I'm still happy with it. I can still find it. Mom has picked up some new ones, like Avery and others, which we do have the Avery ones in stock in the shop. We have a couple. Mom bought a bunch and, you know, has more than she knows what she wants, more than she can get through, so she didn't want them to go bad. She's like, well, let me put some up in the store and all that jazz. Everybody has a new preference. This is going to be the hard part. I'm going to need to eyeball this. I'm in place, right? Okay. So how are we all doing? I know the week is, you know, we're getting into the week. May's almost here. Gasp. If this airs like it's supposed to, be the day before, so the next day. Some of you don't get to watch this till Wednesday. You know, happy May. I've been doing midnights, and it's just not getting anywhere. You'd think the next morning people would watch, but if they're not used to me, they're not finding me, they're not getting back to me. I'm not sure what. So, changing gears on that end. Now, I don't know whether to open this and then maybe pull tight. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe we're gonna pull tight on it to get it around, right? And say don't glue the middle, which, you know, I have a hard time remembering to do that, but like if I don't, it then definitely buckles. So I guess that's a joy. Why most of this we're going to panel. I'm paneling the pieces. We're getting a perfect border. Only because this is the middle signature and we are sewing things in, am I going all the way around. This is why I'm folding it. Plus we have some mishaps, which is fine. And I want to give us the best. See, and that did move. It looks like it'd be fine, but then, okay, well, it has its glitches. It's not going to be perfect. I was really hoping if I try to cut that, it will not. I will not get my perfect thing if I try to cut that. I don't think. Oh, God, I know I'm going to try it. I'm going to kick myself. I don't know if I can do this. Without making it a bigger mess. I'm just really bummed it's not as straight as I was hoping. And I don't know if I can even salvage it. because now it's bent and it's not flat. Because then I'm looking at a very interesting angle, and I don't know if I'm really making it any better or worse. I'm going to try anyway, aren't I? Because this is me. This is what I do. Doesn't mean I can't put lace on this side. I know I can put lace on the other side, but I think I'm doing this backwards too. I'm trying to do it upside down. I'm probably off the page. Sorry if I'm off the camera for a second. It needs to be where I can see what I'm doing. Just for a second, right? Well, it's not clean. It's better, but not clean. Oh, yeah, but I can't really get it into anything either, so yep, I'm just gonna keep cutting it and make it worse, aren't I? Darn it. I knew better. I knew. I tried. Well, this may have a lot of lace on this section. We may have a lot of lace to clean up these boo-boos. Yeah, because I went almost too far now. And I'm just gonna keep cutting, aren't I? Oh, well, yeah. This middle section has been a little temperamental, hasn't it? The rest of them are going to get cut with the cutters, and they're just going to have to do the best. Because I think because my black is not as straight as I want it to be, and we had some glitches there, so I'm trying to make up for it here, and so it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing. Hence why we are doing the black ink on the edges, so it's not so obvious. It's going to help hide some of that. And we're just going to try again. Again and again, and we're gonna make it work. That's what we do. Nothing that can't be fixed. We just keep going. Yeah, it's a little much, but so is that side. So actually, it ended up being about the same. And we are doing ink. Well, we are putting lace here to make up for this part, but I don't know about the back yet. So, oh, we just do it. Right? We just do it. The whole point of junk journaling is not perfection. But yet here I am trying to, I'm trying, because I have my own issues. I have my own mishaps. Okay, so now the inside is going to be the harder part, because I know that when it folds, if I'm not careful, it will bunch. And so I've got to decide at what point, when I go to do this, I can get it to, if I glue this and press down on it and then open it, it might pull. I'm worried that this is where I'm going to have the problem, and this is where I can't cover. So I'm thinking about cutting this down the middle, guys. I don't want to take a chance. It's okay if it goes to the edge and matches in the middle, but I don't want to, I just don't want it to bunch up. Outside's not so bad. Outside's good. The outside at least tightens. It tightens not, and even there's a little bit of bunching here when it does open, but this isn't going to open much. I mean, it's going to, but it's not going to be, it's going to be folded more times than not. And I think what I'm seeing is actually just that imperfection inside. So let's cut this. I am not going to take chances. If we learn for all of my things that it's just not worth it to this way it just doesn't have a mishap. Ink now, so we'll put it right up against the seam. And we're going to hide it because we are going to put a signature in here. Yeah, those papers are already off to the side. I just have to get them cut and folded. Okay, so let's just not take chances, right? So this goes on this side. This goes on this side. Yep. All right. We are going to just play it safe. And that's okay. We are not going to make a mess out of this. So hopefully you enjoyed your April. Hopefully May has some wonderful things to look forward to. We are going to be in the countdown to school. We were just doing the numbers on that yesterday morning, and it was like, oh, by the way, my daughter has 4 weeks, 4 days, and then 3 days, and then it's week of finals, and that's only like, you know what? Too high up or not? Too high up. Yeah, I thought we had like 6 more weeks, and then all of a sudden I was like, well, wait a minute. And we were doing the numbers because she was trying to remember. She's like, why am I second guessing what day it is? You know, what class I have today, and I'm looking, and I was like, oh my gosh, girl, you have 4 weeks, Memorial Day weekend, which then it's a 4-day week, which is what they use. Some of them use it for catch-up works, to catch up on the last of anything that might be due, studying, study guides, and some will even start finals that week, like their final projects might be due that week. so that the 3 days of finals, the last day they meet up with each class, could be could be just a quick like little exit type of survey test. It could be, of course, a full test. It could be a down, like, no, we're not going to stress on that day. Let's just do something else. So yeah, it's sort of interesting how each teacher utilizes that last class differently, but it's not always a final that day. It could just be your last day with the class, and it's 2 hours, and have a nice time. So they will come back from Memorial Day with the potential of tests and projects and finishing up, and then I guess you either would finish it on that day or. But yeah. So anyway, 4 full weeks, 3-day weekend with 4 days to finish, and then their last classes. And so I'm just like, oh my gosh. So 5 weeks. Ah, shoot. I need a clean wipe. Hold on. I didn't realize that when I was gluing, it was sticking, and it is pulling some kind of color from the paper underneath. No! Oh, shoot. Well, that's going to make for an interesting ordeal. All right, then. Now, it's funny how this one is offset and does not... Oh, wow. It goes over the fold line, I think. And the other one came up short. Oh, isn't that interesting? And it... Weird. Weird. Oh, because I have them... No. Yes. No, it can't be on the wrong side. Is it on the wrong? It's on the wrong side. That is why. Shoot. I was like, wait a minute. If that was the fold. No. Oh, son of a biscuit. Oh, no. No. I mean, don't get me wrong. We are using this, but... That's why it seemed like there was so much space. Okay. Well. There's still space over here, but that's, yeah, the way it folded. I had it in a completely different spot. Oh. Okay, we're going to do this a different way this time. Just to get the edges, and then I'm going to have to go back. Oh, man. Well, isn't that just peachy? I thought it was the other way around. I was getting them confused. I was wondering why that doesn't seem to be fitting right. Now I know why. Oh. The sirens are going off. That's not good. Okay, well... We're gonna have glitches. This signature has been a butt, right? We did I still don't think it's on the right spot, but we definitely had problems scoring it in the right spot. Don't ask me, because remember we're a little under 11. I didn't make a mistake, and so now I'm having to make that changes every time we go around. It is right there, and it is on the paper. But what am I gonna do? Not anything I can do about it. Shoot. Well, thank goodness things are getting sewn in. Now my gap, I need to move over just a little bit more, so I have a little less border like I had on this side. There's no way I can pull this out and do it one more time. Not even gonna try. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, so you get to see the oohs and ahs and all the bummer pieces to go with it. There is no... It is perfectly imperfect. That is the whole point. We even have some... Probably try to cover that up with some other inks, but wasn't that rude? So I'm gonna have to make sure I have to clean up that, get it cleaner. I don't know why it was even on that page. I thought I removed everything, and I didn't. Okay, well, that is what it is. My hands are getting inks everywhere, and so we are having a very fun time. I may be doing some, because I'm getting something on my hands, and then, yeah, we're getting coloring on stuff. So, I may be daubing some weird grays and browns over things to sort of purposely add some new texture to our between the black and everything else. Yeah, we're getting some very interesting ordeals. So we're going to add some new texture to this page to, I don't know, hide it all. probably should be using a different brush, but that's okay. I did so we could write on it. We could do whatever with it. We are going to try and, you know, do what we can. Make it messy and utilize that accordingly. Now, luckily, yes, the signature is going in here. See, here I was worried about one thing and I only made a mess out of something else instead. Oh, that is just rude. All right. Wouldn't you love it when you're trying to be on camera and you just make a complete mess out of things? All right, so let's get some lace on these things to make it fit the way I wanted to. I'm pulling out my itty bitty tiny, we have a 3/8 of an inch, I think it's what it is, Tiny Scallop Trim. And I just wanted to put it on here where it barely came up and over. Because the goal is we don't want it to stick out too much, but we have we do have that 1/2 inch to sort of cover up when we feel it works best. And we are going to center that. Hold on, make sure I have the right scallop that I'm trying to cut. There we go. Yes, I have my black felt. I have a little silver. We have the black and silver over here. I think we're going to use in the back. This black ruffle is going to be great for the back cover, I feel. So we have all these pretty things, and I'm trying to keep them on the spool. Easier said than done. I need to get a pin. I have pins, and I just don't have them over here, though. They are, of course, on the other side of the workbench. Here, let's see if I can get them to... I was hoping just to use some of the strings that I have aside as a way to keep... And, of course, I went right over it. Well, that's rude. Okay, I'm paying way too much time on this, but I can't stand... Forget it. Never mind. I'm probably going to get back to it. Never mind. Let it go. Let it go. I have too many scissors out too. There we go. All right. So today is a little bit decor and actually, wow, that came out quickly. I was using this earlier, but yeah, it's been outside a little bit. It has been a little warmer. We actually are looking at low to mid 70s with a chance of a 78 and 80 degree day later in the week. I think Thursday and Friday. It's gone back and forth between Tuesday and Wednesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Thursday and Friday. So one of those days we may actually have you know, an 80 degree day. So I like that. Nice little clean. I love when we can see it over that side. It's going to help with this poor side. Oh, poor side. Oh, such a mess. I don't even know. I may have to see if I can go over with some white or... They have to keep, I think we're going to keep adding some texture to this. Oh my goodness, right? I think we're going to have to keep adding stuff. Now, I also have this one. It's one of my favorites. Came in its original packaging. Both the blue and the on the spool, which we thought was a super cool find. One of those things that we got in our stash that we... So here's the one that, as much as I hate to cover up my rose up here, and then we're not going to see it, it is to help, like, it is going to overlap. You're not going to see the white right away, but you'll sort of see it underneath to make up our difference. Now, parts of me wants to go here on the edge, which means it really sticks out, and it's going to take up that whole kit and caboodle. So let's get the next piece of paper. All right, so here's our next one. As you can see, there's the white that does perfectly cover this one. So when we do this one and get that little edge of white, you're going to see a little bit through that lace. This is going to hide a little bit, so I may not get too fancy with that panel's corner because we know there's a lot going on. So here I could cover it towards just the edge. There's a lot going on here. You're not going to be able to see what's under on this next run, but I don't want to ungather it. I want to be able to keep it to this gathered black and just see a little bit of the white underneath. So yeah, I think we're going to be okay. It's, you know, some things are going to get covered. Some things aren't going to be perfect, but they still have somewhat of that continuous vibe going without... Got to cover all of this, even though... Yes, we're not going to see the rose, but our poor signature. I was thinking about putting some pearls on this one, too. Not all the way down, but enough to sort of give us a little bit, or in the middle maybe, to give us that little bit. I think I'll go in the middle. We'll do some white. We'll do some pearls right here in the middle. I need my proper. So I'm not constantly touching all this ink apparently, and then putting it on paper, and I don't know what else. And I didn't cut it first because I really wanted to make sure I had it exactly where I wanted, whether it was gathered or not, and not cut it short. There we go. But yeah, this is this is Wright. Wright company, start with a W. W-R-I-G-H-T. Wright's trims. And this one doesn't have a date on the back of it. Touch of fabric in the Wright trim. Isn't that cute? Gosh, I don't have a date on this one, but yeah, we have it in our listing what the date is. But isn't this just fabulous? I don't know if we can use this. Probably, but the writing on it would make it like if I was doing a sew. I do have one of my sewing kits, but it's so shabby, so it is pink and that's blue, so I don't know. Who knows? Okay, pearls. I love these. These are our pearl wraps, which is all nicely connected. I don't always have to have. Let's see, we want odd numbers. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Is that about right? I could do it like what we see where we have the 2, high and low. Oh, I like that idea. All right, 2, 4, that's 4, 6, 8, 9, and 1 after. Yeah, that back one's 10, but that's okay. I don't care. Or maybe it's actually 11, I think, because both sides have to be odd. I don't know. If that's 9, then that's 11, yeah. Okay, so, and you can even do it this way. There we go. Liking that. I'm glad this is full. Good timing to have this all full and working again. Ugh. Couldn't have gotten my fabric tack in better timing if I tried. There's going to be a lot of lace and trims and stuff on this one, so I know that I'm going to need every ounce of that glue. I even have a little left over since this bottle wasn't completely empty, so that's good. Come on. I would normally press down. I guess I can. Just don't want it to stick. See, I don't want it to do that. That's what I didn't want it to do. And how's the glue though? It's staying, I don't know, wetter than I like. But that was too much glue. So, oh, come on. It doesn't want to stick. It's just making a mess out of it. You normally have to press down though sometimes to get it warm to like work. So that's not staying. I may have to use the glitter glue. Sometimes we have to kick the glitter glue in to get this to do its job. So let's leave it for a second and see if I can. I may later even put a fussy cut in, I don't know, cut a rose or something to give it another. I think it's dry, I may take the rubber and see if I can get some of that glue off the edges, but I gotta make sure this is sticking first. Yeah, I did notice this last thing of fabric tack seemed a little wetter, which is great, but a little odd too at the same time. Okay, so you have that. When you open it, you do have another lace here. That is so bugging me. I'm gonna have to look into a way to reduce some of this. Use white paint, something which I've done before. So maybe spackle it a little bit with some white, or sponge it. Maybe we'll do some sponges in some of these areas to give us another texture, because that is really bugging me. Because I have some splotched digital look, so let's do some actual paint splotch over here. I'll do some test runs, and we're gonna sort of reduce some of these spots because that's gonna bug me. But that's pretty. I like that. Nice little touch, right? And then when I get going to decorating, I will add. I think we're gonna do like a half flower here or something. That'll make it look sort of like a clasp to the front of this base right here. Okay. So there's the first layer. And there we go. We're ready for our journal to put in the middle, right? We have these gorgeous bottles. See, I was thinking about this part, and that's what made me think it was supposed to be in the middle. And when in this case, it's actually those two are on the outside. When here, those two are in the middle, and so I was confusing them. That's why I did what I did. I should have seen the rose. I'm like, the roses are continuous. Oh well. So yeah, I will go ahead and try to see what I can do with the paint and just keep adding layers and sort of mixed media to enhance that and not make that a complete waste, because we don't want to do that. But there we go. We have our first panel in place. And it lays out. Yes, it blocks this one a little, next one just a little bit, but that's okay. Once this gets folded, as you can see, this is only going to get taller, wider, bigger, which is why we're going to need to have a, probably have a cover with a nice little spine on it so we can enjoy every aspect of that. All right. You almost can't tell it's inked when it's laying on the page, which is great. So it gives us that finished look, and it's not too whatever. All right, so I don't know what else to talk about right now. Not too much going on, I don't think. Busy with the orders, busy with the shop, busy with, life and appointments and all that jazz. I need to quit doing that. But now I'm so afraid to put anything on this paper. Jeez. I've just been busy. I'm soaked up working on this project, This is not much of a tutorial day. This is just part 2, and we're decorating up the panels. So if you didn't watch last week's, what I'm doing is each panel is a 1/4 of an inch shorter in width, shorter here, to have an 1/8 of an inch all the way around. So this is why, I'm doing it, hopefully, if all goes well, keeping in mind that there's, about an 1/8 of an inch border all the way around, matted. We're going to always make sure that the outer edges are as even as I can. And if it means this is a little thinner, that's okay. If it isn't perfect and there's less here because it is on the fold, I'm not going to worry about it. I want to make sure this is about as even or as clean as I can get it. And that's our first either pocketed page and or writing page, right? That's our first panel to write on. Easy peasy. I went ahead and inked it ahead of time, so definitely will not spend much time on that. What we can do though real quick so I don't forget about it later. And that may tear up these sponges. Whew. I feel like, okay, maybe we actually daub it. Here I'm, blot it instead of rubbing across it. Yeah, let's do that. Maybe we'll just, so I don't totally wreck my, yeah, it's a mess. This is, a little messier than I expected. I don't think they'd be so, I think because it's not a distressed ink and it's not your typical paper, it's a little messier. Maybe worth trying, and I won't do it right now because this one would be the bad one to do that with. Here, I have a piece of paper over here maybe. Is to blot it afterwards and see. Make sure there's not too much extra ink. So that I'm not rubbing it on everything. I mean, it's black, it's great, it's not a bad thing, but we want it to soak in but not end up everywhere. So I'm going to look like a, playing in something, right? And here, before we, ooh, that does rip. It is definitely a cheaper, it's a nice thin, hard, substance to try to make as a base, this poster board. It's not the folded science project poster board, because that's usually have a little bit more foam and it's pre-folded for you. But this is just your typical poster board. Sometimes you get them in single and they're colors. You can get them in sets of 1 to 6 in white. Sometimes we need a 3-pack. I think that's what happened. I bought these two. I bought 2 of these black because we were supposed to make this large, what do you want to call it? Art portfolio for school project when we were homeschooling. But we never got, we just was getting through the project was hard. The little projects were hard enough. Okay. So to do anything else was So the goal is here. Let's see. We want the lightest amount. Definitely, this doesn't have a, yeah, okay. So we want the lightest amount we can, I think, here on this side to write on. And we're going to put the pocket and the lace and all the goodies on this side. I want to do this down the side. We have this gorgeous silver trim. And it's going to go right along the edge here. So it's not going to go underneath. It might, I'm wondering if I should we'll glue this down, put the lace down, and then I think I'm going to put this right up against the trim, but not under or over, because I don't think I want to do that. Now everything's done here except for, I did all the inking, did all the cutting. I did all black for the card, the journal tag, black for the base back here, but I did a gray around the actual front of the pocket. Now this isn't cut, this circle, you can barely see it, I'm so sorry, is a 1/2 inch circle. But I'm thinking of a slightly deeper and, different, whatever. And since you really can't see it, I decided to go a little different on this one. And, oops, let me show you the right color. And we're going to make it a slightly bigger pocket, bigger thumb notch. So it's really easy to get into. So if we want to put multiples in here, because I do have another one of these, or if I want to decorate the top of this, I'm going to want to keep that thumb notch in mind and utilize it, right? So if we want to put something more 3D here, since this is for the back, I have that thumb notch to accommodate it. Okay, so there we go. So yeah, I did some silver. I did the hickory smoked silver on the front, since it's laying on top of this, it doesn't have to be as stark or to blend in as much. And then that way the tag too has its own sort of personality. We are definitely doing that apparently. All right, let's go for it. I had it really black from, oh, hi Keekers. You doing okay? See if she behaves herself out here. We'll go a little darker on this. We are really enhancing that. That's all right. Once it's dry, it'll be fine, but that's good. Yeah, she has a few spots now in the garage that she can hide and play, and she can use it in her little box on my workbench for once. But then she goes and sleeps on the couple other things. Okay, so let's not get too distracted. But I'll try to do some things prepped. There'll be a few shorts throughout the week, so I'm going to try to do little things like maybe decorating certain journal cards or tags on YouTube Shorts, just to give you something every day. And it's going to be a lot of black and white, but that is my projects. That is what I'm doing right now. So I know we're going to be covering up a little bit more of the darker roses, but I wanted a little lighter side here where we have a pouch to be able to let you have writing space. I'm going to need an actual wet wipe. I have a feeling I'm going to need an actual wet because my hands are going to keep putting marks on the wrong thing. So let's see. I have a dry wet wipe. I'll put a little water for my ironing board water, since I need something to keep my hands wet. I don't have any actual wet wipes or even like Pampers wipes right now. Oh, there we go. Oh, I'm just like so worried now that every little thing's gonna leave a mark. I have to really keep an eye on that this time. This project. Okay. And dry. I'm like, and dry it off, right? Okay, well, let's get these edges going. I have no idea how long it's taking me. I'm so sorry. I'll try not to make them past the 1 hour mark this round. Next one, maybe, I have a feeling that we're just going to get these decorated. So, Thursday night, Friday will be, I think we're going to pick the panels and see if we can, well, how the supplies are ready, that we can decide which pages are going to have those more interactive folds, flips, so on and so forth, right? So I'll do some of the work on that and get an idea so I can go through with you guys and we can go, okay, what do you think? I'm thinking this and this, and with that in mind, I think we're going to do, here we go again. Well, I know everything's not perfectly cut or folded, and that is sort of the problem. So like I said, we're going to try to make it look as pretty as we can on this outer edge. And you know what? But we are covering that with lace and whatnot, so I don't have to. Let's go. This time we're going to go the opposite. We're going to make this end look really nice because that is going to get covered in lace. So there's no point. I don't have to have it on this end perfect because I'm putting black trim right across that. Literally lace with trim. So there we go. Ooh, that got stuck. Yeah, I've been leaving my glues out, which is bad, out in the garage. But it's been, it's not been hot, but it's been warm, and there's a few cool moments, but not anything crazy. We are definitely going, we're only mid 40s in the mornings instead of in 30s or low 30s, or I mean high 30s. And then there we go. So we'll make it nice and clean here, since you will see this. If I don't put a cover, you will definitely see it. And we want to make sure that, because this is getting covered, we don't have to have it perfect over here. I am using glitter glue real quick because I don't want to lift anything back up. And I'm trying to make sure it's all covered before we put, the fabric tack down. Okay. So like I said, we're going to bump our ephemera up against the trim. So let's put the trim down first. We do have this one. This is a gorgeous organza ruffle with felt and silver trim. I got to make sure I have it right on the edge, and that'll help take care of any last minute mishaps that I have. So, this one's pretty too. This was definitely, I wasn't sure at first about it. I wasn't sure what it was. I was like, really, did we get that? Because I couldn't tell what it was. And I was like, oh, now I'm like, oh, well, this is going to be, it's really elegant. It's great for the New Year's. It's great for, it's like a 1930s flapper eras. It's good for couple different things. I think would have some real fun in some of the fashion stuff, fashion direction. If you do a lot of journals or stuff with certain fashion eras, I would think like flappers in 1930s and New Year time celebrations. Come on. Oh, you do not want to stick. what is up? What's up with my glitter glue? Usually my fabric, not glitter glue, usually my fabric tack is not a problem. So I'm really, I don't know. I did notice in the winter it actually works better. Maybe because it's sticky because it's cold. So as it gets warmer, and it's funny things, you have to press down to use the heat of your hands. But the warmth outside does something completely different to it. Doesn't make any sense, right? And that went up and over. I don't want it up and over. Darn it. Sorry, shouldn't say that. That's why we say not intended for kids, because, well, we have our oops moments, right? Let's see, we're going to cut that as tight as we can. There we go. It does have a weird little, that is cut right there. Okay, but there we go. Isn't that great for a backing, right? All right, I do have some of the other white stuff too. Where are you? Oh, like, where do you come from? All right, so there's that. Don't need that anymore. So I am going to also keep it open across the top. We're going to put it in here. We'll let it sort of, I really need to work on my straight cuts. I mean, even though I followed my own, or tried to follow my own, yeah. No keekers. Stay there. Stay. She's like, but I want to come help. Go in your box. Good girl. Try to cover everything. We're going to go right up against it as if it was part of the ordeal. We're going to bring it down just enough so it sort of borders. Am I off camera? Yep. So border, border, border. Everything we do when it starts getting to ephemera and interactive stuff, it's going to be bordered. It may be white with black border, then print on top of that. Keeping it to layers, keeping it to that effect. So anyway, I'm going to glue here and leave this top open. So if there is a piece of paper, there is some piece of memorabilia that you want to put back there because there's just not enough writing here space for you, you can do just that. Okay, we always want to find new places to tuck and use. Okay, we're gonna glue. Well, I hope you're following along. I hope you are attempting to craft something with me. Your own little waterfall. All right, page by page, panel by panel. I know I tried at the end there to give you as clean information as I could. The last one. That's why we started that weird clip. I tried to explain it and made a mess out of it. I'm like, oh, well, that's just droning on for 10 minutes. So I stopped right when my alarm went off and I recorded that ending for you guys. I was like, nope, this is the simplicity of it, the best you can. You know, I am doing a border, so it does require more paper in the sense of you need one to cover your base, but you need your base. Now, if you don't want, you want the same amount of, using the same amount of paper technically, but not all the numbers. You know, you just use double-sided scrapbook paper or double-sided printed digital paper or whatever, and you do 12 pages and you just do your folded every 1/4 inch instead of 1/2 inch, and you can still have a nice waterfall, you know, look and not have to do any trim work or put stuff on the edge, you know, the edges. You could keep the waterfall look by adding lace at the end of every page, and you know the lace is about the same width. You get the same effect. It's just full of lace. Make a lace book with a bunch of waterfall, you know, pieces. There are many, many ways. This is a little wide, but I want to see how we're doing here. I want to make sure, yes, that we can get this in here, and it's not. There's no too weird. Oopsie, that's what I always worry about. I always do that. I pop it right open every time. I want to make sure. I guess I should just put the piece of paper in there. I'm thinking, right? Make sure it was all clear. Because I have a tendency of sometimes moving things and I end up with glue where I don't want it. And so when you do that, you end up with, you know, weird spots. And so that's never good. Get that up underneath there, nice and stout. Let's try that. All the different glues. Okay. Hopefully I can finish this with you guys. This part at least. I don't even know how long it's taking me. Oh, it's 44 minutes already. Well, at least we're being productive, right? We've seen the ups and downs. These scallop large tag pockets also all sit inside each other. They are purposely made a little smaller. So again, we get that layered, sort of a layered stacked feel. That way you also had some room to play. Like if you had to, you could cut this smaller to fit this exactly. You could I like having given you options, play things to shrink. If it's too tight, too small, there's nowhere else for you to go, right? A little bigger is always better. Sometimes you can always shrink it, but you can't enlarge it without adding lots of layers, right? All right. Another thing which is great with that thumb notch is that you can, now it won't be a perfect because it is up against this. You may not see it, but here we go. Hopefully this is all on camera. I'll pick it up and show you guys in a moment. So as you can see, you know, we have color, we have label, you know, everything stacks this way and a little bit this way. It all sits inside itself. Everything is, well, it's down now. Right, and then we would just put this in here. So what I'll probably do is a short, I'll decorate this one up as a YouTube short, and maybe for Thursday or whatever. And what's today? Supposed to be a Wednesday video, so maybe Tuesday night / Wednesday you'll see it, and then go from there. So yeah, probably Thursday I'll do a short, and Thursday night, Friday, and trying to pick new time frames, I guess. Again, we've been doing the same thing for a while, and you know, I don't think it's catching. You're not enough of you're catching it on your feeds. So if you don't hit the notifications, you don't hit the, you know, don't subscribe, you don't hit the notifications, to make sure the moment something comes up, you're made aware. I get lost in your guys' feed. So if you really like this, make sure you hit this, you know, subscribe, make sure you hit the notifications, make sure you love this, commented on it. That way YouTube sees you're interacting with it, so hopefully they'll bring it up. They'll suggest it more often. There we go. So we're going to have a little bit of a blue-gray in our white, and we're going to have a taupey gray, a taupey cream behind it because of the papers. Papers change. Bright white. They both say bright white, but that has a yellow undertone. So it's going to give me an opportunity to bring in some taupes and some golds if I want to, or keep to silver. We're going to have a little bit of both. It's going to be, we're going to have a nice fancy whatever, but it is, I did notice that the black ink is smearing. So we're going to have some texture. We're going to have some dimension here as we go along. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have that inside. We have the outside. So I'll have to do this. But we now have, I'll take that off for a moment. There we go. We have the first layering. A little bummed that is. I'm like, I almost want to clip it backwards. I may do that. Okay. There we go. We have our first layers. We have our inside section laced and glued down. So we have those first 4 panels are done. Our first inside writing panel is complete, and the back writing panel has our first set of layers, right? Has our pocket, has our first interactive, room for both, to do both front and back pocket here, right? Depends on what you need to do. We have a little lace, in which being the back of the book, it is nice to have, you know, this gorgeous end. We have the lace showing here, the nice organza ruffle. We got our black gathered Wright lace, a little bit of our tiny scalloped white lace, which has a nice little off-white to it, which is, you know, it has this antiqueness to it because it's been around and we have a lot of it. So it's seen, some of it sees, you know, aging and coloring, and others is going to be bright white depending how far down the roll we go. So this is a great piece to have, I think, for just a little something. I couldn't wait to have it, so I was really stoked. So we'll go ahead and I'll try to do some paint splotching in here, some whiteness to get some new layers, see if we can undo some of the and we're going to have to really keep an eye on, yes, on the inks. I may have to definitely ink things and then not ink it while we're working on it, so that we don't have that wetness and we don't end up keep smearing stuff. So we're going to keep learning and learning our lessons as we go along. That is for sure. So thank you all very much for coming along, liking, loving, and commenting, enjoying this part 2. We'll definitely, be a little bit more pick, cut, and, paperclip in place what we're going to do next, where we think we're going to add extra bits, so that we can then sit down and do like we did today. Glue, tab, tip, prep it all ready, and then there just might be a mass, a mass decorating day where we're going to get some of these really fun spots decorated. And after that, it's just going to, you'll get to see the final as we work through. So I'll try not to make it too big or put some things in between. When I have a moment to stop and go, okay, I need a break, I'll go and do another project, and then I will, pop back in and we'll do another layer. So love you all very much. I really appreciate you coming along, liking, loving, commenting, checking out the shops, seeing what we have. If you liked what you saw here that I was working on, see if we still have it in the shop. Laces are going quickly. Some things are actually just I'm starting to sell out again. So and we won't, we may not ever be able to get more back in. Some we're finding in new vendors, and other vendors we've bought everything out of. So, yeah, really appreciate all. Love y'all very much, and we will talk to you all real soon. Bye-bye.